Hello, and welcome back to another very special episode of the Performance Marketing Unlocked podcast. As affiliate marketing evolves, brands need to ensure their programs drive true incremental value, not just discount-driven sales. But with rising costs and increasing competition for top-tier affiliates, how can marketers ensure profitability while driving long-term customer growth? In the second edition of our sponsored podcast series with Rakuten Advertising, Harry Johns, Director of Business Development, Finance, Travel and Emerging Verticals at Rakuten Advertising, joins myself, host Joseph Arthur, PMW's multimedia editor, to explore how brands can optimize commission structures, measure incrementality, and use performance-based strategies to reward high lifetime value customers, ensuring affiliate partnerships drive real business impact. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this very special episode of the Performance Marketing Unlocked podcast. Harry Johns, hello and welcome to the Performance Marketing Unlocked podcast studio. How are you doing today?
Yeah, very good, mate. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
It's not often we've got two Australians in the studio. It has happened once before, but it's always good to be speaking to one of my countrymen.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. And hopefully we can get through today and achieve great things.
As always, that's always the goal. When two great Australian minds get together, you want to produce some good content. So we're here to talk about affiliate marketing and particularly incrementality. But before we dive into all that, let's establish who you are. What do you do at Rakuten Advertising and how long have you been in the affiliate marketing game?
Yeah, so I have been at Rakuten. I'm in my 7th year, and I moved to Rakuten. I was actually previously working for a legal tech startup and moved to London and got tapped on the shoulder and asked to come in. And that was my first exposure to affiliate marketing. So I've been a born and bred sales guy my whole life, and going into the affiliate marketing space, that was new for me. So I learnt a lot. I had to learn, quickly. And obviously Rakuten is one of the most established affiliate networks globally, one of the original affiliate networks globally, and a really great global business. So that's how long I've been with them. And I look after everything outside of the retail bucket now, but I used to sell everything, luxury, fashion, anything in the retail commerce game. And then now I look after anything outside of the retail. So I look after big banking organizations, travel, and what we call emerging verticals. So you get things like education, ed tech that are emerging in the digital sphere as well. So it's a super interesting role, and Rakuten is a fabulous business to work with.
Yeah, great. So you've had to dive in there as a bit of a pivot into affiliate marketing, but 7 years is a decent stint now. Yeah. I imagine things have changed quite a bit though, and it's a very fluid channel. So diving in and learning all those things 7 years ago, I wonder how things are now compared to that time.
The game has shifted, and I think that what you can do in affiliate is really broad, and it's aligning a lot to other channels. And I think, again, I know we're going to be talking a lot today about the incrementality approach and how people should be thinking about these things. But affiliate has really become a full funnel one-stop shop, which is really great, because I think that historically it's had the reputation of being a last click, cashback voucher code, discount-led strategy. And being transparent, affiliate hasn't had the best rap in many lights. So people look at it and think, it's diminishing from their brand's integrity. And it's actually just not the truth. It's essential for brands to be leveraging and can really serve as a value for a lot of good things for any organization. So I'm a big advocate of affiliate as a channel within your marketing mix. And we do talk a lot about it being, aligned to your SEO or PPC investment, a channel that can, really underpin and support the investment you're making in those channels, but also add incrementality and new revenue as well.
Yeah, keen listeners will remember that we spoke to your colleague, Nick Fletcher, live and unlocked in I guess, part one of this podcast series of PMW and Rakuten. And we touched on some of the challenges with the channel there and looked at things from a global perspective and how to scale and act locally. But as you said, incrementality is the name of the game today. But I want to make sure everyone listening at home knows exactly what that means, because affiliate marketing, and perhaps some of the things that have been a detriment to its reputation in the past, is things can be a little opaque, unclear, and difficult to follow. So incrementality, it's a hot topic in performance marketing, but why don't you, as an expert, just break it down for us? What does it mean in the context of the affiliate marketing channel?
Yeah, so what people need to think about is, are you adding net new by having affiliate active and tracking, people through referral traffic from third-party websites? So that can be anything from a YouTube blogger to editorial and content, right down to influencers or the prime example is obviously cashback or rewards processes. Now, there was some arguments made, and this stretches back significant amounts of time. People say, well, it's cannibalizing investments that I'm making into other channels. So I'm spending all this money on SEO and PPC, and then I'm paying out an affiliate network, for driving that conversion, which we probably would have gotten anyway. Now, there's some good thinking there, but again, I like to point people to where is that evidence coming from? So, if people are using their attribution models and looking at Google or looking at Meta, then, obviously they're going to point and say that they're driving that traffic. But what we often see as well through the affiliate channel is you will drive more growth in those SEO and PPC investments as well, right? So by having an affiliate channel on, the breadth and depth that you've got is going to mean that, all ships rise with rising tides. So what we look at is incrementality is a full scope of the investment that you're making, across the board, across all marketing channels. And I think that's a really important way to look at it. And what we see if you zoom out is, as well, investment in affiliate, because it's a performance channel. You're not paying for clicks, you're paying for conversions, and you're paying to drive sales and performance. That branding exercise can be hyper effective at increasing performance right across the board. So incrementality for me is an important topic. We talk about it a lot. We've got a team of data scientists that work within our organization that can build out models and feed back into you exactly what's happening on an incrementality approach. We do A/B tests all the time, but I think it's essential to have affiliate turned on and have your brand, acting in as many, websites globally.
It's building one thing on top of another, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that people have to understand is that, affiliate is often the first thing you turn on and the last thing that you turn off. So you want to make sure that your SEO and PPC investment is really humming and you've got that going well. And then, beyond that, affiliate can be just a super value add, channel from an ROI perspective.
The ROI perspective is a good one because not all customers are made equal. And I know a lot of brands worry that affiliate programs attract those more discount orientated customers that perhaps aren't in it for the long haul. So how can those brands measure whether an affiliate sale is truly incremental and is going to help contribute in the long term as opposed to just a short?
Yeah, so it's not a one size fits all. And I think that, how are you thinking about attribution? So if people are leveraging GA4, and understanding that approach, then we ask you to kind of think about, zooming out a little bit and leveraging our data. That's the value of an affiliate network. I, of course, think that Rakuten is best of breed, but there are many solutions out there that sit in our competitor set. But, looking at things like how you're commissioning dynamically, you can pay a commission for net new customers. And again, that comes from brands, providing us that data. So we can pay for new customers versus returning customers. And again, that is an incremental customer, right? We can pay commission out on that. So you can pay zero commission for someone that is a returning customer. And that depends on how you're implementing the tracking and obviously, how we're commissioning out on your behalf. Then you've obviously got different audience targeting that you can do within our technology as well. So again, how you set up your program, how you manage your program, and then actually looking into the attribution, and we can zoom out and say, this is a truly incremental, net new person aligned with the other, incentives that you're running across, other channels. In terms of the reputation that voucher code and cashback have got, the reality is that it's where the performance sits. So that is your conversion driver, and it sits across the board, right? So, cashback is huge across, all verticals, whether it's finance, travel, luxury fashion as well. We're big in the luxury fashion space. And, the big luxury houses didn't want to work with cashback. They're now all primarily working across the board with cashback or kind of discount sites, because you don't have to diminish your brand's value. They're closed groups of consumers. And again, they drive, a huge amount of performance, which is what people are after. So again, you can have a content-led strategy, through an affiliate channel, and it will be quite expensive, or you can underpin that with some performance and make sure that you're checking around the incrementality, along the way. We believe in test, learn, grow, right? We're always, looking to understand our clients' needs, what's important to them, and, driving incremental publishers as well. Different networks have different partners. Our publisher base is our intellectual property, and we believe we've got a strategic advantage there as well.
On the measurement side of things, if you're going beyond last click attribution, do you find a lot of differences across verticals when it comes to evaluating the full funnel impact of that affiliate marketing?
Yeah, so we were the first, Rakuten typically leads the charge when it comes to a lot of these processes, and we were the first network to adopt multi-touch attribution. Mm-hmm. And again, that's from a publisher base. A lot of their arguments is that the content pieces, bring the consumer in. Someone might read something or see something, but then they're going to go to a cashback site. So for us, you can split the commission out across first and last touch, which is a huge thing. We've got our, affiliate conversion journey tool now that we've baked into our tech, which enables you to understand, what publishers are doing, at each step of the journey, whether they're driving awareness, consideration, conversion, and having that holistic view and rewarding your publisher set is a better way to go. In terms of the different verticals and approaches, cashback within the travel space is huge because they're typically big ticket items. So again, if you're getting a 1%, between 1 and 4% cashback on $1,000 investment in a flight, and that's what people are paying for their big haul holidays. If you're a family of 5, that makes a difference. It's amazing how many friends that I've got that don't understand, that they can do this as well. I consistently educate people around that. So the measurement piece is really important, but again, it just depends on what you're looking to do, whether you're looking at financial services. I don't know if people have, looked into it, but the switcher offers that you get, a range of banks will offer, 250 to 300 quid for you to swap over your current account. And, that's huge, for particularly with the cost of living crisis that we're facing, at the moment. And then obviously your major retailers are also, leveraging that process as well. So, it is a multi-vertical full funnel, approach. But again, the things that we do with brands that is really exciting often sits outside of that process, as well. So the ability to have, content, card linking, a lot of the tech partners that you can plug into now are really great in terms of what they can do, leveraging our audience engine technology where we can do, segmented targeting into specific audiences actually, makes affiliate a really forward-facing and interesting channel to invest in.
So you've got some general rules of thumb, I suppose, there in terms of going multi-touch attribution and spreading things as wide as you can to, I guess, diversify in terms of that measurement. But obviously, differences in channels. Some things work better for other verticals.
And I think as well, and I'm not pouring cold water over, anyone. People have noticed that it's become harder to get the edge, particularly through meta investment. Yeah. And again, what we've tried to do and what's becoming more prevalent is really trying to link branding investment. So with our influencer services as well, that is around that measurement piece. So
it's showing that it's full funnel.
Well, I think as well, you have to understand, how do you understand the investment that you're making in influencer is actually driving performance? And I think for us, we've got, linkless tracking, we've got, coupon code commissioning that we can do through the channel, which obviously enables you to actually understand the investment that you're making in influencer. Is that driving performance? And that's where the future of the industry is going. And that's why I guess the value of affiliate marketing is so prevalent, because something that has hit the world by storm. And again, the budgets and the investment needed for influencer marketing is stifling compared to what you pay an affiliate network. The budgets there are huge. Partnering with your tech partners to be able to make sure that there's a strategy and understanding and able to measure the performance driven through that is just another example of how measurement is so important and why affiliate marketing should be essential in your marketing mix.
It's a lot of a big education piece, isn't it? Just ongoing education. I imagine that's one of the biggest challenges.
Yeah, and I think as well, even for me, I think that I've been really focused a lot on the travel and banking space for about 5 years now. So that's my niche and area of expertise. But there's so much new breadth and depth in a range of different areas. So you've obviously got areas around measurement and understanding the performance. You obviously got the technology, investments that every network is making and the rollout that they're doing there. But then there's obviously the publishers that exist as well. We've got over 160,000 publishers, on our network driving traffic all around the world. So again, having that knowledge base and really making sure that you understand that the network or the tech partner that you're working with, really is able to understand the strategy to adopt to help you, meet your strategic objectives. And if incrementality is the focus, then we will work with you. We will test, we'll understand, how you're wanting to drive this performance. And we'll build a model and you'll get an analyst that underpins the performance management team within your affiliate program to really drive that expansive incremental growth on your behalf.
So you've got to make people privy to the opportunities before them, I suppose. And if I can move on then, once people understand what's in front of them, and it's across all different verticals, but obviously you've got this niche that you're sort of across more, there's rising costs and increasing competition for top tier affiliates. So how should brands think about structuring their commission models to ensure that it's driving real business impact?
The reality is that, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, as the old adage goes. But I think for us, we challenge brands to think about, how they're investing. And for me, you've got to have a good tenancy budget outside of the performance element as well. So, making sure that you've got that investment, because again, a lot of the publishers do, have big tenancy expectations. And again, if you do want those, and we talk to brands all the time that, only wanting to do, really low performing, but high cost investment. Whereas you have to underpin that high cost investment with a conversion process as well. So how are you going to turn that into performance? So having healthy budgets for tenancy investment, thinking about that up front. And, again, when I'm talking to brands, depending on, what they want to do, we're typically saying, if you've got, an affiliate budget, you do need to have a steady chunk for that fixed tenancy, investment. So that would probably be my approach. And I think break it out as well. So think about how you're appealing to that budget internally. You will have a budget that's specifically for performance. You'll have a budget for other marketing channels, but brands also do have, branding budgets as well, right? They want to get their branding out there. And that's what affiliate is great for. It's in every way what the, historical PR agency, used to look like. And again, now we can partner you with editorial and content partners. We can get you exposure, definitely increase, your brand and your presence online. And if you think about it, if you've got exposure and you're sitting across 20, 30, 100 websites, it's just elevating that branding investment that you would be doing across other areas as well. So just challenging, and fighting for the right budgets. I know people are struggling to get that budget investment, but then, I ask them, how they're investing across Meta or, paid search and what they've got is astronomical versus what you've got for affiliate. So affiliate is a super effective channel, and just thinking about that spend and what you're investing in, I think is a really good thing to do.
Have you found that when it comes to winning over some of that investment, there's different ways to incentivize brands getting involved with affiliate marketing, maybe changing the outcomes instead of basing it just on conversions? You look at things like customer lifetime value. Is there ways to incentivize engagement?
Yeah, so LTV is huge. It's become, and we are now, working with brands around, understanding, what their lifetime value metrics are, and they're prepared to reward publishers, more for these, LTV metrics. So again, we're working, with the premier banking partners, I would suggest, globally, very recognized name. The CPAs that they would have is much less than what, others, would expect. So again, what we're doing is challenging for these, other investments to obviously elevate that process and drive that conversion, as well. So again, the LTV metrics, their demographic data, they're happy to pay more for. They want people earning over, X amount, living in specific areas. We can do that. We can target these consumers. We can get them to people. And all of a sudden, because these people, are converting, they're, shifting their banking partners, they're obviously getting, the big North Star metric for a current account is obviously getting your salary paid into that. So think about how many current accounts you've got, but you've only got one that gets your salary paid into it. So again, we can provide publishers, more rewards for working towards those strategic objectives. And again, I just don't think people think creatively enough around how to talk to their affiliate network around what the opportunities that exist, because if you invest in the tracking and you get the foundations right, you get a really good team, the ideas start flowing and you can be, really creative around the things that you do. So, our audience engine technology, I think is a real world beater, enabling us to target people based on, specific demographic data. It could be age, it could be where they live, it could be whether they've, shopped with a competitor perhaps, or, if they're an active traveler, again, being able to understand if you're a pet product, you typically want to be able to target people that own pets, right? So looking to understand that as well. And there's some very, key drivers, understanding the people that are buying, dog food in their weekly shop and then working with, partners to kind of target towards that. So I think that for publishers, being able to segment their data and working with networks around, creating opportunities around that first party data is a game changer, and we're doing more and more in that to drive real commercial value for brands.
So it really is accessibility to data, and the data you make available to the partners that's moving affiliate up the funnel in essence.
Yeah, I think it's becoming a more important channel due to that, and what you're doing around the enrichment of data is just, it's enormous because there's so much of it now, right? And again, Rakuten, not only Rakuten Advertising, and Rakuten Advertising is a global affiliate network, but Rakuten Advertising is owned by Rakuten Global, which is a group of 70 to 80 brands varying across everything. Rakuten owns banks, logistics companies, they've got credit cards, they've got mobile technology. We are really in everything. But the level of data that sits within that. And again, I pointed to the fact that we've got these data scientists, which are kind of tapping into that. It's 1.6 billion, interactions with consumers on any given day. It's huge. So again, for us, tapping into that data, understanding how we can leverage that and use that. Again, it's the same for brands and it's the same for publisher partners as well. How are you, segmenting, enriching, thinking about the data that you're sitting on is just gold dust.
Access to data is one thing. Effective use of data is another. I mean, there was a story that came out in PMW just this morning that almost 70% of parents targeted by ads don't actually have kids. You spoke to before. You want to make sure if you're selling pet food, you want to make sure that your ads are getting in front of people who own pets. So what's helped you ensure that your use of data, the big pools that you've got there at Rakuten, are being used effectively? And I guess what I'm getting at is I imagine AI is a useful tool in working with such things at scale.
Yeah, so we describe AI as affiliate intelligence, which I know sounds a bit corny, but it's a part of our approach moving forward. Rakuten globally actually has a strategic partnership with OpenAI. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple of value adds there. We've got the ChatGPT format that we're using is firewalled, so none of our data is escaping, which is obviously hugely important. And for the brand safety element, it's huge. I think about how people are willing to actually do the work to segment and enrich data, I think is hugely important. It's the value that you can provide. So we think about what we're ingesting and what we're doing, but I would say our reporting suite would be the most advanced in the industry, which provides brands a lot of opportunity in terms of what they can do from really neat and tidy reporting, which then obviously coming back to our incrementality piece we talked about earlier is hugely important. But then, what are you doing with that level of insight? And I think the beauty about AI, because I use AI every day. It rewrites my emails. It helps me with anything. Data, Excel spreadsheets, cross checks. It's it's made me faster. It's made me better, maybe a little dumber, to be honest, because I just feel like I'm not using the noggin as much.
Takes away a lot of those manual tasks. Certainly.
Yeah, but we now have the time. Like, I think that, you know, a long time ago, we were being tasked with doing more with less, right? Well, you know, now we can do so much more with our time during any given day, because, you know, you should be saving out on those areas as well. So I think that, you know, taking data, you know, making it, you know, more relevant and applicable based on what your strategic objectives are, everyone can be doing it, you know, whether it's networks, you know, whether it's, you know, publishers or advertisers as well.
And on Rakuten's perspective, I imagine you guys have got your AI and data science teams playing that role in making sure that brands are optimizing their affiliate investments and making sure that they're getting a true measure of ROI.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, you know, it's baked into a lot of the reporting that we do. You know, we've got chat-based reporting that we've rolled out. You know, we've got a range of publisher discovery tools that we've rolled out, which again means that you can search by keyword. That could be, you know, the type of consumer that you're looking for or demographic. And then that breaks out by region. We're getting faster, and that's the beauty of it. You can do things faster, you can access information faster, and you should be able to make actionable, you know, decisions quicker. So if I look at, you know, what is the information that our tech is now spitting out, it's really impressive in terms of the, you know, global benchmarking, you know, global reporting, our insights analytics portal, again, the user conversion journey. You know, we can do a hell of a lot more, and we're being able to see a lot more through our data and our dashboards, which is really good.
Of course, when there's all this technology at our fingertips and the rate of innovations moving incredibly quickly, there are your cautionary tales. And I wouldn't be doing my job as a journo if I didn't talk to you about a piece of news that came up recently, which was to do with Google and their Chrome and toolbar extensions. Basically, Google had to update its affiliate ads policy for Chrome extensions after several creators accused PayPal's popular Honey browser extension of being a scam. So what are the learnings you take away from news like that?
It was interesting because, you know, the people impacted, you know, were, you know, a lot of these influencers who, you know, were, you know, in turn making, you know, millions through this process. I think that, you know, what's good to see is Google reacting quickly. So I think that they've, you know, this is pretty fresh, and they've come out with, you know, an immediate response, which I think is obviously super exciting. You know, again, there's elements in every channel that require refinement. But again, for us, like in any channel you face this, but I think affiliate, you know, you do come up against headwinds, you know, whether it was the GDPR changes, consumer duty, or, you know, even just, you know, the rollout, you know, of some of the cookie consent stuff that we've been through. It all goes into the bucket similar to what was talked about with the sort of Honey, you know, PayPal operation of being a challenge that we need to react to. And I think that, you know, we did react to it. You know, it's been action now, and I think that you know, what's to come is going to be really interesting and exciting.
Yeah, it gets a bit of a bad rap, really, because as you said there's no channel that's free from difficulties and challenges in particular. So the rapid rate at which this situation has been more or less, you know, we've learned from it. Google's made its decisions, things have changed. If anything, it speaks to affiliates' added credibility and maybe some of the credibility it's built in the past few years.
Being agile and tactile is super important in anything. And again, we never know, you know, what's, you know, going to come up next year. Like that, you know, every year we're faced with, you know, fresh challenges and things to tackle. But I think that it's one of the interesting parts of the job. It's one of the things that I quite enjoy because, you know, it keeps things interesting. And again, it comes up with new ideas. And what I find difficult is, you know, when you do have the same ideas or things become a little bit stagnant. And I think that, you know, having some external forces, you know, shape the way that you think just creates for, you know, more proactive processes and building a better, more robust solution.
Diamonds are made under pressure, and Adland is certainly, there's never shortage of pressure on us working within the industry, whether it's internally as a journo. There's plenty of things going on in motion to keep us on our toes. And I'm going to do something I did with your colleague Nick in the previous episode with Rakuten, and that's we're going to put our minds on the crystal ball a little bit and try and predict, are there any emerging trends in affiliate marketing that you think might change or redefine the future of the channel, how brands are going to measure success, how they're going to drive sustainable growth. What are things going to look like 6, 12, 18 months down the line and beyond?
Yeah, so we're into personalization in a big way. And again, the updates we've made to our technology are obviously huge, but you need to think about the consumer experience. So for me, I think that
too often neglected.
It is too often neglected. And I think that we need to be crystal clear on, what are we trying to do here? And we're trying to drive a great experience for users of a brand's product. And again, it's multi-touched because, these consumers are interacting, whether it's an editorial or a content partner or a cashback site, they're coming through and then they might click through and purchase a product. So having that process silky smooth and able to evolve in a really nice way, I think is where we should be heading. And I think personalization is going to be key. AI is going to make everything faster. It's going to make everything better. We're going to be able to do more at pace. So I think that we're seeing that as well. And then also, having clarity around, the value that, reporting and incrementality can make, as well. Also underpinned by being creative around how you're commissioning as well. So, commissioning dynamically has been talked about for a long time. I don't think enough brands are doing it, effectively. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that kind of, plays out across the coming years. So, for us, in our push, into working with more travel brands, we can work with different sub verticals in the travel industry and pay out based on, what's actually been consumed, but then also, the levers that are aligned to strategic, objectives, pushing distressed inventory, making sure that, planes that are flying are full, cruise ships are full, and OTAs are being paid out in the way that they want to as well. Much like what we're doing with, fashion, working with some of the leading brands, in the world, having a dynamic publisher base, you can do paid search through the affiliate channel. You can, do, the post-consumption as well. So you can drive referral traffic, you can drive repeat business and paying out on that as well. So long-winded answer, but I think that my three anchors are, personalization, what are you doing with the AI processes that you're, embedding, and thinking strategically. So, what's important, for your business, and how can affiliate, support you reach those strategic objectives?
No AI Luddites here. It's opportunities aplenty for the future. Harry, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thanks very much for joining me today.
Thank you, mate. It's been absolutely fantastic. And thank you to all your listeners. If anyone ever wants to reach out, Harry Johns, contactable on LinkedIn, and happy to answer, any of your listeners' questions at any stage.
Get ready for that inbox to fill up, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
A pleasure. And that concludes this episode of the Performance Marketing Unlocked podcast. A big thank you to our guest this week, Harry Johns, and a big thank you to our sponsor, Rakuten Advertising. It's been a real pleasure producing this special 2-part series with our live episode of Performance Marketing World Unlocked with Nick Fletcher, and now this follow-up piece diving into all things incrementality in affiliate marketing with Harry Johns. It's been great bringing it to life, and I hope you listeners have enjoyed it. We will be back, of course, with our regularly scheduled Performance Marketing Unlocked podcast. In the meantime, if you haven't already, give us a follow on your podcast platform of choice and find us on social media. We're on LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Have an amazing week, and bye for now.